Arizona is just a couple days away from its meeting with UCLA. Today, Jedd Fisch spoke with reporters about his thoughts on the Bruins, and in particular, quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Yeah, they're excellent. Chip's a great coach and has changed throughout the years. When he was at Oregon, and they were, obviously, we all know how high tempo they were, how fast they were, and really how explosive they were. Then in the NFL, I remember that first Monday Night Football game where they just came out high flying against the Redskins and were just up and down the field. And then we played them in 2014. I was the offensive coordinator in Jacksonville, and he was the head coach in Philly, and we played them opening day. And obviously I think we lost the game 30-17, but saw how he runs his offense there, which was a little bit different. And then each place he's been, I didn't see him in San Francisco, but each place he's been, he's evolved. He's got very good players. He's been an outstanding run game coach his whole career. Obviously, he has produced some incredible run games, and with that allows you to have some great explosive passes. So we got our work cut out for us to stop UCLA's offense. On the side of DTR, Dorian's a great player. I've always told the story that I went and watched him at Bishop Gorman a couple of times, and he was the best wide receiver on the field, and he was also the second quarterback. And then as soon as he was done playing wide receiver, when they took a big lead, he then went in and played quarterback. Tate Martell was the starting quarterback at that time. And then the next year, he became the starting quarterback for Gorman. So he's got ability to do it with his feet, ability to do it with his arm, and overall, really impressive. Yeah, defensively, they're an extremely aggressive bunch. They've really tried to create turnovers. I think they've created 7 of them this season. They're very. Their nickel, number 24, does an outstanding job. Quentin Lake, their safety, does a great job of directing traffic. They brought in some really good linebackers through the portal, and they're going to give you all sorts of different looks. It is a great challenge for a quarterback to have to defend all the different looks, all the different different coverage schemes and pressures. So that'll be a big challenge for us. Yeah, we talk each week about keys to victory, and sometimes those keys have to do with how many points you score, or sometimes they talk about who you need to eliminate in the game, or what you need to do to be able to move the football and control the time of possession, or maybe it has to do with protecting the ball. But I think when it comes to points, we all know that's the most important stat. But it's more so you have to realize that, there's certain games you go into when you recognize that, hey, this might be one that you've got to be more aggressive on certain situations. We can all point back to the New England versus Indy game where New England went for it on 4th and 3, in their own, on their own side of the field on Monday Night Football when Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the other team, because you felt like you didn't want to give him the ball back with an opportunity to score. I think sometimes you do that and you go into a game and you say, all right, what is it going to take? How aggressive do you need to be? Is this a game against BYU? We felt that, we wanted to go for it early. We wanted to try to, have the ball, so we took some 4th down chances. I think every week it's different, and every week we have to figure out the best way to try to get in that end zone.
You talked about the early explosive plays that other teams have been able to accomplish against you. What do you think is the best way to minimize those or even prevent them?
Well, the biggest thing for our team right now is we have to figure out a way that the power of belief. The power of belief when you walk onto the field, you don't just have to, test the waters out. You can just jump right in. And I think sometimes what has happened here, maybe over the course of the last 2-3 years now, is it's always hedging the bet a little bit or testing the waters and then realizing, hey, we can play with this team and we can compete with this team and we don't need to give them a head start. And I think that's really for us. We need to start. I hate to use it. Start fast, finish strong. You don't win the game in the first, second, or third quarter. You win it at the end, but you can lose the game in the first quarter. And that's what we have to really do everything we can not to do.
On Arizona's side, the offensive line has been in focus all season long. The group has just come off their best performance of the year, but Jedd Fisch knows that UCLA will present a big test for the Wildcats this weekend.
We're 100% healthy up front. We would expect it to be Morgan, Lay, McCauley, Donovan, Fierce. All five will be good to go with Baker coming in, just like we've been doing. They felt some confidence in terms of being able to, I think we let up one sack against Oregon and had, a pretty good rushing night for the most part. But they also want to get a lot better. There's a lot of places where we could be a lot better. There's a lot of places where the quarterback got 54 yards with his feet. Some of that had to do with scrambling. And what would prefer to do is stay more in the pocket, be able to let some things develop. So they're excited about the challenge. I think UCLA provides a really, really, really good challenge for our team. They're veteran up front. They're strong. They're physical. They're fast. And our offensive line has to accept that challenge and really go with it.
I'm now joined by senior editor Matt Moreno. Jedd Fisch talked a lot about the offense this week. In your opinion, which side of the ball will have more pressure on it Saturday night against UCLA?
I think it will be the offense. Obviously, you're having your second start behind Jordan McLeod. Everyone kind of saw what he was able to do and got a little taste of some rhythm, some consistent offense. Obviously, you don't want him to throw 5 interceptions again. I do think that was an anomaly. I don't think that'll happen again. But I think there's just more promise about the offense with seeing Jordan McLeod running the show and having him out there. It felt like we saw, different parts of, as you just talked about, the offensive line looked pretty good. Running game looked good, as Jedd Fisch, as you guys just heard from Jedd Fisch. And so I think all those things look good. Now you have to see them, build on what they did against Oregon. So I do think the pressure is going to be on them because, quite honestly, the defense has been pretty consistent all season long. I mean, there's been those moments where they let those explosive plays go and, you get some passes down the field or some big plays down the field. But for Arizona, I think the pressure is going to be on the offense. That's Jedd Fisch's side of the ball. That's what he's responsible for. He's the one calling the plays. You have all these pieces that there's a lot of talent on that side of the ball, and they need to start really kind of carrying this team a little bit more. And so I think everyone could agree that there's a pretty good chance Arizona would be 2-2 right now if the offense wouldn't have had some of the issues it had early in the season. So I don't think the defense has been the problem. I think the offense has been what's been lagging a little bit, and so they need to start stepping things up, and I think that has to start now.
The last time the Wildcats won a home game, it was against UCLA. Do you think all of the pieces are in place for Arizona to end its streak?
I want to say yes. UCLA obviously has some big wins on its slate this year. They beat LSU and kind of raised some eyebrows and got everyone thinking, wow, this is going to be a team that's really going to be competitive in the Pac-12 and will have a chance to win the Pac-12. And so since that's happened, they've had a rough go of it. They lost to ASU last week and aren't coming here with, I think, a ton of confidence. So I think it does make it a prime position for Arizona to try and end this losing streak and finally get a win. The last time around, Arizona needed a little bit of help. Missed field goal allowed Arizona to win that game. The next week they beat Colorado, and then they haven't won a game since then. So it's been a long time for Arizona. I think the bye week definitely helped this team get its mindset right. I think there's been some confidence built over the last couple of weeks. I think it feels like everything's just kind of settled down. I think this is a good time for Arizona to have its bye week. And now it's just about, putting all those pieces together and really, having a chance to win a game. And so I don't think it's going to be a fluke play or anything like that. Whenever Arizona eventually wins a game and ends this losing streak, I think it's going to be because they play well. Maybe that's this weekend. I think it's going to be key for them to not have turnovers, of course, not have penalties, play pretty sound in every phase of the game. And, I know that's pretty basic, but Arizona hasn't been able to do that. There's been a lot of self-inflicted issues with this team, a lot of penalties. Obviously, the last game you have Jordan McLeod turn it over 5 times. So if they play a clean game and have a chance to really just play, the way that I think they all believe they can, I think there'll be a shot for them to win this game. And so I don't know that I'm sold it's going to happen this weekend, but I wouldn't be shocked either.
Kickoff is set for 7:30 Saturday night. With Matt Moreno, I'm Averie Klonowski for GOAZCATS.com.